Summer URGs is always due at the end of winter quarter. That was the week that we started the week being like, wow, things are happening. And at the end of the week, like the wheels had fallen off the bus and we're all like, ah! We had 370 applications. And particularly this year, I honestly didn't know if we were going to be able to get it through review, because at that same time, all the faculty are being asked to revamp their entire classes to remote learning. And so I was prepared that we might have to just kind of pull the plug. And the faculty were like, no, we'll do it.
You got accepted, but then we had to write like little sentences or little blurbs about if we needed to change our projects, how we would go about doing that.
The 256 students that were awarded grants then had to check in with me as to, does it need to be adapted? Like Leanna Runcie is going to be writing a play about micronations.
I love micronations. I think it was honestly a few years ago, I was watching a Vice News report. I was so fascinated by the idea that someone could be like, yeah, I'm gonna start a nation in my backyard, and that's that. So my plan was to tour the micronations and talk to the heads of state. We had a backup plan in which we would just video chat, and that would be how we would conduct interviews. And so when COVID happened, it was kind of easy to just be like, okay, so we already had this backup plan, we're just gonna go with that.
We had a couple of people that were doing documentaries, and I'm like, so you're not doing a documentary.
We're going to be recording audio, which will still be fun and interesting. Our basic idea, it started out actually just in women's healthcare in rural areas. And we noticed that there was this legislation in Kentucky that would really limit transgender healthcare options. And so Syra and I decided to totally shift our focus in the middle of writing this grant and focus in on this instead.
Now that everything is through phone, like the range of sources we can contact is a lot wider. And also I think because we were thinking of doing it as like a podcast where we would release episodes every week, we don't necessarily need to follow the same story the whole time.
What Northwestern students are really good at a core base level is giving people answers to things that already have answers. But that's not how the world works. And so oftentimes students can struggle with that transition and thinking in terms of what's the right question to answer and a means of going after that. And that's a really great, that's the core of why we have an office.
I really wanted the freedom to kind of follow a lead that I had and just see where it went, versus a situation where you're kind of told like where you're trying to go and the steps to get there.
I mean, it's got a limited life, right? Because it's about legislation, it's about how it's affecting people right now. So this is the perfect time to do it. So we're really glad we still get to tell the story. I think we'll make it work. We'll make it work.